Hi, it's Tim from ChiroUp. In years past, there were a couple of very simple life hacks. Don't get into strangers' cars and don't meet people from the internet. Well, both of those have been changed by Lyft and Uber. Now we summon strangers from the internet and get into their car. The auto industry has changed, but no industry has changed more than healthcare. That the old fee-for-service model has been replaced by a fee-for-outcomes model. We get paid for outcomes and patient satisfaction, basically our value. And the determination of our value to a healthcare system is a simple score. It's our results divided by the price of a visit and the number of times that we see a patient. Anything that increases the numerator makes us more valuable. Anything that increases the denominator makes us less valuable. And it's not only our patient word of mouth and Google that relay those V-scores. There are sites like the Wall Street Journal Medicare Calculator that you can Google right now. You can check to see what your V-score is, what your neighbor's V-score is, or any physician who sent Medicare a bill in the last 5 years. You'll get to see what the average outcomes are. You'll get to see how many visits are typically required for that. Our results are becoming very transparent, and people will choose providers based upon their value that they perceive. The good news is we typically deliver great value. But what happens when we don't, when we fail? That's an opportunity that we can choose to learn. One of my favorite authors is Tim Ferriss. He has this book here, Tools of Titans, and has published a compendium, The Tribe of Mentors. And Tribe of Mentors and Tools of the Titans, Tim basically interviews successful people and asks them about their lives, their habits, and their hobbies, and how they got to be where they are. In the Tribe of Mentors, Tim asks a simple question of what's been your greatest failure and what have you learned? And it's interesting reading their stories about what's changed their life and how really their launching pads from success sometimes came from a failure. And that's very similar to what happened with ChiroUp as well. That about 8 years ago, I had a patient, her name was Mary Garcia. This is pre-HIPAA, so I can say her name. And Mary came in, she had shoulder pain. I was certain of the diagnosis of impingement. I applied my best recipe at that point in time. And on the 4th visit, Mary didn't show up, so I asked Debbie, where's Mary? And Debbie said, oh, Mary called in. She said she's not coming back, she's not getting better, and she's going to see her doctor. And if you've ever had that feeling, you know how bad that stinks. So Dr. Steele and I decided at that time we're going to do something different. We harvested information from the research, from the internet, from books, from mentors, and developed a new recipe for treating that. And from that recipe, we learned a lot about scapular dyskinesis, and we learned a lot about how shoulder tendonitis is not itis, it's apathy. Instead of suppressing inflammation, we need to be generating controlled inflammation. By changing that recipe, our outcomes changed dramatically, and that was the breeding ground for chiropractic, to where we got to 98 protocols today. So our blog topic this week is going to give you 7 skills that you can use when a patient isn't responding. What can we do differently? And I'm not going to cover those 7 skills here, but I think you'll enjoy them. We've got a few links in the blog, several if you're a non-subscriber. If you are a subscriber to ChiroUp, you'll have access to more than 40 of those different links within your resource. And I think it's important to recognize, this weekend I heard someone say, oh yes, I'm a ChiroUp subscriber, and I didn't recognize them because they're one of the 10,000 blog subscribers. That's very different than a ChiroUp subscriber. We have this little website called ChiroUp.com that helps you to do a couple of things very well, to learn, to transfer information to patients, and to monitor your outcomes, because those are the essential steps for making sure that we're performing and that we're delivering value. When it comes to learning, we've detailed the best practice recipe of assessment, treatment, and exercises for the 98 most common conditions that you and I treat. We allow you to review those conditions. You can pick one a day, and by the end of 5 months, you'll have them all down. You can also take your own notes in the conditions. And more importantly, you can deliver that information to patients through automated reports. It takes about 5 seconds to generate a report to let the patient know what's wrong, what you're going to do to help, and what they need to do, including their exercises and ADLs. Those things that sometimes we get busy or forget to tell patients, my reports don't forget to tell my patients. So I'm happy about that, and I'm also happy that I can now deliver that through an app, that my patient can download an app and get that information real time. And then finally, measuring how we're doing. That if I tried out for a baseball team, I'd want to know what my batting average is, I'd want to know what my ERA is. And without those numbers, it'd be hard to improve. ChiroUp allows you to measure your clinical outcomes as well as your patient satisfaction, to see what those outcomes are, and if there's something you're deficient at, you have the resources to improve. If there's something that you're exceptional at, we're going to come to you and ask, can you teach us what to do? Because really, we're all in this together. And together we can become the undeniable best choice for patients and payers alike. I hope that if you are not a subscriber, you'll check it out today. You can start your free trial, use it for 14 days, and if nothing else, you'll have access to the 40 references and resources that we detail in the blog. I hope you enjoy the blog. Thanks for watching.